Hi, this is Ed, and thank you for being on Global TV Talk Show. This is the Communicator Award show, and today we're going to honor Carolina Gomez Pereira, and she's in Brazil. And I'm in San Diego, and this is a nice picture provided by the Economic Development Corporation of the tourist area. The convention center is there in the middle, and of course the downtown and the hotel district. And in front is the recreational and concert venue. It's just a beautiful place, and we go there a lot. Carolina Gomez is an executive communication mentor. She's fluent in English, Spanish, Portuguese, helping high-level professionals speak with confidence and cultural fluency. We're going to welcome Carolina now into the global meeting room. Stand by.
Hello, my friend. How are you?
Good morning. Good afternoon. You're in what, 5 hours difference? 4 hours?
You are right. And I see you are having a delicious, what it is, a coffee,
Hmm.
tea?
Oh, I need it.
Oh,
You look wonderful.
thank you. You too. Look at this wonderful background you have.
Yeah, I
What
was.
is that?
This is downtown San Diego, and this is a picture. I did not take this. This is a picture that was provided by the San Diego Economic Development Corporation, which is the Downtown Business Association, and
Wow.
from a helicopter. And you see the convention center in the background.
Mhm.
I'm putting together all these speaking notes here, and right in the middle is the convention center. You really can't see it that well there, and the adjacent downtown. So
Stunning.
the island in the middle there is was constructed. It's recreation, and it's also in the background is the Symphonic Center outdoor
Oh,
conference. Uh, uh, Great for music festivals, and just a beautiful venue. It's mostly during the summer because it's in the evenings most of the time, and it can get quite chilly with the wind off the ocean. That's San Diego Harbor, and of course it connects to the ocean. And so at this time of year, it's not very busy, but um, nonstop every day during the summer months. It's a great place. So thank you for doing this, and congratulations. I'm in my role as editor of Global Business News. I'm looking for people like yourself who are demonstrating, not past tense, but current right now, executive thinking, executive execution of a big mission. And your mission, as I understand it, is helping primarily Brazilian business people learn to communicate better in English. And this will be for their benefit as well as for the benefit of everybody connected. Is that correct?
that's absolutely right, Edwin. And first of all, thank you for this recognition. It's an honor to me to receive this Best Communication Award, especially because I understand that you value communication that is clear and impactful as well. So it's an honor to be part of this group and to contribute on this conversation of global leadership. So, for the ones that don't know me, I'm Carolina Gomez. I'm a corporate English mentor, and I work with professionals, with executives that speak English, but they still struggle, especially when they are under pressure, high stakes scenarios. So I help them to work with English skills and also to navigate cultural nuances, differences, so they can really speak with clarity, confidence, and achieve these opportunities, access opportunities that for sure are waiting for them as they are amazing professionals.
And how long have you been doing this?
Well, for the last 4 years, I've been working as a corporate mentor. Before that, I used to work for a corporate, an American company, right? I worked for more than 10 years as a trainer, delivering training, preparing agents in many, many countries, like the United States as well.
Oh, that's great. Okay, now you're located in Northeast Brazil, is that correct?
I'm more to the south, actually.
Ah,
You will hear about the Dubai of Brazil. That's the city I live in, Balneário Camboriú. It's beautiful.
so it's south of Rio?
Yes, it's headed to the south. By plane, it's going to be like 1 hour, 2 hours from Rio, maybe.
So it's south. So it's closer to Uruguay.
Yes, indeed. Indeed.
Yeah.
Close to home, to the family.
Oh, it's so interesting. I've never been down there. I've been to Rio and Sao Paulo many times. I've starting in '08, I began producing live in-person meetings, not digital. I should have, but I didn't know what I was doing at that time with digital. But I knew a lot about performing and bringing people together. So the 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 Big Four company called PwC, Price Waterhouse, in Brazil, invited me to produce my style of event, and they would sponsor it and invite clients. And together we would invite others to come and meet and greet. And so that was held in Sao Paulo at the Hyatt Regency. Uh, that's '08, it's a long time ago. And after that, we produced an annual meeting in Sao Paulo. We moved it in different places. And then we went to Rio
Oh.
and then did a series in Rio. EY, Ernst and Young, hosted us in 2010 or 11. I don't remember right now. And they're building. It says Coca-Cola on the top of it, and it
Mhm.
overlooks that big fancy mountain in the downtown harbor in Rio. And so we held our meetings there for a couple of years and then went further south to the beach.
How
And
did you like it?
oh, I loved it. As I'm a beach guy here in San Diego. That was really beautiful too. And but we haven't been back for 10 years now, and we should do that. Love Ipanema and Copacabana area, uh, LeBron. So it's just wonderful, relaxing, and inspirational area for me.
Mhm.
So now I'm very interested to learn from you and tell our audience about 3 or 4 very specific things about what you've learned from your experience and what you're learning now, day in, day out, helping Brazilian business people understand the need. I think they already do understand the need, but they don't know how, and they need your training to be more comfortable like we are right now in front of this little camera. This little camera, this little light is super powerful, isn't it? Because we are thousands of miles apart, yet we could be together right now in the living room at the desk and communicating clearly, I hope. I hope I'm doing that right. And part of that issue, I think, from watching you and understanding your words in the past year or two on this program and others, that it's a comfort, it's a self-confidence game. It's a chore. It's a mission to feel comfortable. And a lot of people are uncomfortable because it's not their native tongue, it's not their native way. And so, how do you go about getting people to be comfortable?
Well, that's a great question, Edin, and I appreciate you asking and you doing the work you do, because I have to say that I learned so much from your meetings on how to provide psychological safe space for everyone that comes, looking for help. But basically, as you said, my mission started because of my own experience when I struggled working with English and identifying that just having the language is not enough, right? Because under pressure and when you need to speak with clarity, when you need to deal with high stakes scenarios, many times it's really challenging to keep your presence, the clarity of mind. And is that what I help nowadays these professionals, right? I develop a method, is the name is dual code, where we go over a few pillars. And actually, let me share with you my screen really quick so I can explain better what we do in these
Great,
classes.
thank you.
Let me see if I can do it here. But I'm not finding my screen here. Just one moment. Oh, this technology. So many windows.
Are you trying to use my screen share? Oh, okay, there it goes.
Can you see what I'm
Uh,
sharing?
Now I see your three pillars.
There you go. There you go. Okay. Because as you said, I identified this gap, especially in the corporate environment. Amazing professionals, amazing people, well prepared with a lot of diplomas. But in the moment that they have to perform in English, then because of these pillars that I shared during the class, they lost their clarity or their presence, right? And one thing we work with anyone that is trying to improve their English is to focus on the business vocabulary, business core. Many English schools, they offer generic content. So it's a lot of time you waste learning things that you will never use. So here we see like the idioms, expressions, and what you really need for your everyday activities. We work on leadership voice because pausing, working on the rhythm of your voice, the intonation, that affects how your message goes across. So if we don't learn how to work these skills before your meeting, before your presentation, then in the moment it's very difficult, very challenging. So finally, we work on immersion. We do an immersion during these classes because it's much more easier for anyone to use and to communicate using structured words that they repeated, that they saw before, that they learned before. So it's not about just going to one class in the week and thinking that you will already speak English like that, but bringing English to your home. And nowadays, with so many tools we have and content online, is amazing how we can access British English, American English, or any kind of content that you need. So following these pillars during the course, we can really see results. And working on presence, some steps we take before the meeting, before the presentation, like working on your breathing, right? Meditation even is so good because the body identifies like a danger in the moment of a meeting or when you need to speak a second language. that is not yours. So we work on how to learn to identify these, signs your mind will send you, like if you were in danger but you're not, how to work on that. And when you have these things clear, the structures, the words, then you can speak with confidence. And what the cultural awareness does, that is so amazing, when you know what to say, when you know how to navigate in global environments, then people will hear you, they will connect with you, right? They will open up to you. So that makes more easy for people to follow you too. And if you are a leader, then of course your leadership is going to be stronger with these practices. And I have seen so many lives changing, during these classes, during this experience as a mentor. For example, a few months ago, there was this senior executive that he came to ask for help. He usually avoided meetings or avoided any situations where he had to use English. After taking the classes, after putting in practice these steps, he was chosen to represent the company abroad. So he went abroad, speaking in English. Lately, he was part of a negotiation on behalf of the company that was a $2 million negotiation. So to see how mastering these language skills plus cultural awareness makes people access opportunities, change their lives, is really rewarding. It's really an amazing thing. So that's what I do. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
So I really appreciate you doing that and talking to us about the background. And maybe we can get into that a little bit deeper now.
Mm-hmm.
Storytelling. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for instance, let me ask you some questions.
Of course.
Okay. And the whole intent here is to inform the audience, the business audience who will watch this in the coming days, weeks, and months, and maybe even years from now, as we circulate this across the internet. So, what is a common, one or two common issues? You already mentioned them, but now redefine them. Tell us a story about a lady executive or a guy executive and how they grew from being, well, not really afraid, but very concerned and very self-protective about their public persona on not only just Zoom, but in-person meetings when English is not their primary language, and yet the customer is American. And so we're talking about relationships of breaking through the mental barrier of, well, this person is not like me, and how can I trust this guy or woman who's in an executive position? And the failure of this could be catastrophic for the business. And so, what is the key thing of relaxing enough to show vulnerability without feeling slighted and without feeling denigrated, or let's just say welcoming, encouraging to share ideas? How do you get over that bridge?
I love how you put it, because it really becomes an obstacle. What happens, Edwin, is that as adults, we usually are afraid of making mistakes, especially when we are learning something new, right? We don't want to look like we're not competent enough, or we cannot do it right. And especially if you are in a position in your company that people is expecting from you a lot. But I think that it's all about mindset. It's about changing the way you see this. Because as adults, we tend to focus on speaking perfectly, in losing accent, and actually I've seen, let me tell you this story. One of my mentees, she came asking for help. She took English for many years, and she had negative experiences because some people will tell you, oh, you cannot speak like a Brazilian, or you have to lose your accent. And these limiting beliefs that go around, and we know about that. But when we understand that the thing that is most important is your knowledge, is the message that you have to put, across, and you have to share with people. When you understand that you are one person to contribute, that no one is there to judge you or judge if you conjugated the verbs right or wrong, I think working on mindset is so essential. This mentee, she came, asking for help, many years of studying. She couldn't speak English. She couldn't do it. And after 3 months of taking the steps of learning, that is, again, is about sharing the message, is about not losing the accent, but owning your accent, owning your message, owning your voice, practicing, feeling comfortable with the structures, with the words. Within 3 months, she got a job in an American company. She felt, so good, because many years of trying to do this, and before she couldn't. But she was able to become fluent, and 2 months later, she got a promotion within that company. So what I saw was that when someone really puts in action these steps, they're simple, working your mindset, preparing, doing it. It's like a cook, right? A cook that knows the recipe theoretically, but never actually went to the kitchen and start doing things. With English, is the same. We have to speak. We have to put ourselves in situations where we will learn, and the next time will be better, and the next time will be even better. So I think that is a big work of working the mindset and understanding that we're all humans. And if someone comes from a different country, from a different culture, it's all about learning how this person sees the world, their perception, how they understand things, so we can adapt and be flexible in the moment we need to do these negotiations or, work together. It's just about understanding diversity.
What percentage of your clients currently are women?
That's a good question. It can vary. Nowadays, I can say I have 50-50, men and women, but most of them executives, global professionals that are in positions where they need to attend international events, meetings, and perform in high stakes.
Oh, that's very interesting. Now, give us a story without naming any names about somebody who was, prior to your helping them, keeping themselves back or down because they didn't want to get into a high stakes confrontation situation because they're really not confident about expressing themselves. Not the basics, but the nuances and how I look on camera. Like, for instance, you can see me with these clear glasses. So now you see me without, and then I see you blurred, but I want to see you better because you're just wonderful to look at, my friend. So now I'm going to see seeing glasses, right? Aha. So that's sort of a game we're playing here, but transition from being not confident or about self-image, and then what's next?
Yes, and that's a perfect example on how to make someone feel more comfortable. You are a master, and you are a master. Now,
At some things. But
yeah, there are a few mentees that I work with. For example, one that had strong negative beliefs, even before she spoke. So, these thoughts like, my English is horrible, or I look like a dumb person when I speak, or, basically negative beliefs that we let our mind go on, right? And I think that happens with us when we learn any kind of new skills or when we have to perform in new tasks that are required from us, right? So I think that the conversations that we had even before we start, approaching grammar and so on, really let her see these thoughts that they were recurrent, that they were negative. And we were able to identify these together and set like a goal, let's say, or a new pattern. Like every time we identify, or she identified one of these negative thoughts, she will change it for a positive one. So the change that took place since she started to do this practice was amazing. Like members of her team telling her, praising her for her communication, members of the team asking her, like, how did you do it? Like, how your confidence changed so much from, the beginning, like a couple of months to now. The leadership in the company giving her more responsibilities. Because as confidence grows, then you can shine, right? You can show what are your skills, what are your capabilities. You're more, it's more easy to flow in the company and do your work. So it was amazing to see this transformation and to see again another professional accessing these opportunities in their career.
so, do you do all this yourself, or do you have some deputies, people who you can assign to do something because you got another client that you're focusing in on, but you want to grow your business, so you have someone else do that job?
Mhm. Okay, so in the moment, I really praise on individual mentorships. I value this very
Oh,
much.
yeah.
Yes, customization, listening to the client and delivering exactly what they need, right? Of course, I do have some other products that are digital. So let's say someone cannot have time in the agenda to be with me or in the times I can, no problem. They can buy these products that are, available online, and they can watch the classes, and they can also have exercises there that they will put in practice. It's not going to be a passive course, but they can put these activities in practice and actually see results. But nowadays, it's a only me company.
Oh, that's fine. I do the same thing. There was a time when I had people around me, and
Hmm.
but that's going back 20 years ago, and I didn't like it because it was keeping me down and keeping me from enjoying myself. I
Hmm.
had this problem, I had that problem, and yikes. And I just, that's it, you know. I
I
don't
could
want to
swear
do
you
one
had,
thing. Yeah.
sorry, I swear you had a team because you are so present in social media. I was like, oh my gosh, he
No, I
has
just
help.
do this all the time. And so, um, with what I'm doing, okay, which is doing that event or doing this program or doing the next program, okay, is, and this is new. And I've been doing this a very long time, but all of a sudden there's like a new energy because I figured out what I want to do and what I do best, and what I like doing the best now is what I like doing, not something I have to do. And, uh, and that's doing these one-on-ones, finding people like yourself uh, who are deserving of recognition. So I used to do an annual award program, bringing 10, 15, even 20 people together in one space, and everybody was in a little box on the screen. You couldn't see them because they were so small. And the time was limited because there's so many people with strong personalities, and there's not enough time to showcase, to shine the spotlight. And so then I came up with the idea of one-on-ones and just spread it out over, say, right now I'm just thinking of January, and I have several people who are winning the award with a program like this almost every day. I'm recording um, award programs, and so my plan is to keep doing this. And it's satisfying for me, and
And it's so relevant for us, for the world. I think, Ed, that this networking that you are attracting and building so much talent, so much to learn. Like I've been participating for the last year in your events, and I cannot tell how much I learned from the amazing professionals that are present. I just can say thank you because it really is very generous of you.
thank you. So I used to think, and I don't mean to sound like a jerk or anything that it could be interpreted that way. But I used to think that, well, in order to be featured on my program, people have to pay me up front because I'm worth it. I I know what I'm doing in producing, orchestrating an event in front of the camera. I've been trained in this a very long time ago, and then I've just been doing it uh, without even thinking about it. And so that's the comfort that you see exhibited, and how I just move my head, for instance, rather than just be wooden, stiff, you know, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. And because that's communicative in itself, and that breeds the psychologically safe atmosphere. So I call it, affectionately, I call this not the studio, but the global meeting room, where people can jump in and leave when they want. But while in the room, I don't know what that noise is, but that's okay. Uh, the communication barriers disappear. Poof, there aren't any. Talk, convey, show something about yourself, and it works just like that because you want to have that meeting with that person who you saw on the show previously. I want to do that again. So you get on LinkedIn and you make a connection, and bingo, you've got it. That never would have happened if there was a toll gate, a steep fee. So then I said, it's all about service. I have to provide a service that people see the value in. And then if they want to donate to the cause or spend some money later and join the club, the Global Press Club is the vehicle, then you could do it for a month, or you could do it for 90 days, or you can do it for what I call GoPro 365. In other words, an annual, which is a mega deal. And that's what's catching on, is choices and the attitude of service first. And if people are comfortable with the service, they'll see the value. It's a no-brainer. And that's the secret sauce. And I see that you're doing that in your business, and I see others doing it also. So, but not everybody's doing that. And that's the differentiator, what makes this program different than others. There's a lot of people doing talk shows, podcasts, but not like this. And that's the key. So let's come to a conclusion here. And please come back and do it again, and join another group meeting that I'll announce someday. And right now I'm focusing in on one-on-ones, and I'm setting up small group events rather than large group events. And I'm very interested to do a live in-person meeting somewhere soon, but that requires sponsorship. And I'm not going to do it on spec. When I was younger, I did meetings, live meetings on spec, almost all the time, where I sold tickets and sold sponsorships and exhibit booths and things like that. It's a lot of work and a lot of responsibility. And that required me hiring people and then supervising what they were doing. And that's why I just stopped doing that for the most part, and just focus on digital. In other words, the global meeting room, bringing you from thousands of miles away, and you're right next to me here. And it's beautiful. And it's a win-win, is what we do with this. So when this is finished in a few minutes, I'm going to let it set for an hour or two. I'm going to have a breakfast and go for a walk, but also I will then review it. And most of the time I don't touch it at all. I don't do any editing in content or in delivery. I do snip here and snip there to bring it down to the desired time frame. And then when I like that, then I will release it to you and to the public. And if you need me to make a change, just tell me. And I don't want to do multi-takes. I don't want to do extensive editing in the interior of the program, just at the beginning or at the end, because it's really easy for me to do. I'm really not a tech, and I don't want to learn that. I want to focus on this, on the communications, and making it work for my client, you, because then you'll see the value and tell two friends, and maybe they'll want to jump in. And so this is how to grow through inertia and through multiplication. The message of this is the global meeting room, bringing people together from across time and space, from across borders and cultures, from across generations, to trust it, try it, trust it, use it. And then I'll give you the video link and the audio link for listening for when you're out for a walk. And I'll give you the notes, the text version.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and then you could cut them up and chop them up and use for reels or whatever you want to do with it. I don't care. And I'm going to, and that's at no cost to you. And
Thank you.
then what I'm going to do is I'm going to produce it for our network, which is 2.6 million. And it doesn't mean that all will look at the show at the same time, though. Most of that is through LinkedIn and the different business groups. I have a membership, I'll be real quick here, in 100 of their groups. And uh, that's the reach of 2.6 million. And now it's actually bigger than that because of subsidiary distribution. In other words, who you send the video link, I have no idea where that's going. But I know you would send it out because you're proud of what you did, and it's a good show. But I have no idea who you're sending it to or how many. It could be 2 people or it could be 20,000. So I have no idea. So our hardcore audience is around 500,000, and that is mostly U.S. and mostly in larger companies. We have plenty of small business people, of thousands, but the largest audience the past month or two has been senior level managers, executives in companies having more than 1,000 employees. So that's pretty big. Okay.
It is.
And that's more than half of our viewership, according to LinkedIn. They measure everything. Sometimes too much, but they measure everything. And most of the readership, the population wise, the work wise, is involved in consulting, training, learning and development, all things connected with talent sourcing, talent development, talent deployment, comp and ben, everything connected with talent. So this is mostly that's HR related, and training, as I said, training and development, comp and ben. Part of that is legal and accounting. So that's the cross section of the audience that I've developed, and that's the network. And they will send out a show that they like to their own client base. So that's the key. What you say and how you said it today is going to be seen by some very influential business people. Very quickly, the number one viewership market is, as you might suspect, in the eastern US and Canada, Toronto, Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Washington, going down to Atlanta, going down into Miami, that whole eastern segment of North America. That's the number one group of corporate readership viewing our programs day in, day out. It doesn't change. Now, the number two group of audience, location wise, somewhat surprisingly, I think, is London and Dublin. Okay, huge numbers, not as big as the US and Toronto, but Eastern US and Toronto. But the number two market is UK and Dublin. London, of course, is huge, and Dublin, Ireland, huge concentration of tech and services in London area. Excuse me. Now we have audience in Geneva and Zurich and Paris and Milan and Ukraine, but it's small. And
amazing.
Yeah, and then the number three is California. And now California is huge. It's 1,500 miles long along the Pacific. and a couple of 100 miles width, so it's just huge area. And so in the north is San Francisco and Silicon Valley, a mega market. And in the south is LA, down to here in San Diego. Southern California is what it's called as a group. It's a huge market. So Southern California basically has become an outgrowth of Silicon Valley and San Francisco because of the tech growth, particularly now with AI companies. And most of them, not all, but most of them are headquartered in San Francisco, Silicon Valley. They're having trouble up there recruiting people to come into that market because it's super expensive and there's no room. There's no room. So
It's expensive.
they're opening up now here in San Diego, um, and have been for years, but now it's really getting thick. And they also have developed, not everybody, nearby is Phoenix. Now, Phoenix is a 1 hour plane ride, but it's 6 to 7 hours driving across the desert. And that's a little long for commuting. So, but Phoenix is an outgrowth of LA, the whole LA scene, and semiconductor manufacturing.
Yeah.
The Taiwan Semiconductor Company, huge, based in Taipei. Their US headquarters is in Phoenix. I mean, mega, huge. And so they're attracting all the others to come follow them. And so Phoenix is like the manufacturing center, not California. That still goes on here for sure, but it's really there. And why? Because it's lower cost of living. The air conditioning bills are high, but everything else is lower. Really, housing is like 50% off what California is. And it's very nice living there once you get used to that desert environment. Some of the companies in the LA market are going, of course, some went to Texas, of course. It's a good market and they have no state taxes. So it's a lower operating. It's a totally different culture than California and New York area. But what's happening now is in the mid-south, Midwest, mid-south area of the US, particularly Tennessee, the state of Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee. And then just south of there is Arkansas. It looks like Arkansas, but it's pronounced locally Arkansas. And in Northwest Arkansas, this is interesting, that's the headquarters and the founding area of the Walmart Corporation, which is huge retailer, mega. And they are the family there, the Walton family, which is also headquartered here in San Diego. But the home base is in Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas. That whole region there is being developed for low-cost housing and manufacturing. So companies are moving not out of LA area, Southern California, Silicon Valley. No one's leaving. Well, some are, but they're opening up branches where they never were before because that's where lower cost housing is, lower cost of everything. And so, and culturally, it's different than the Northeast and Miami and the California, Seattle area. Very, very different cultures and all within the US. So it's a really fascinating thing. So what you're doing, I hope you're hearing what I'm saying, is that there are different cultures and different ways of communicating the same words in the US. You think about that. And
Mhm.
we're going to do more. I'm going to do more of that in these TV shows and radio or audio um, about the different cultures within the US. Now, it's all business oriented, but the people are different. And
It's
so
fascinating.
that means communications are different. Okay.
Absolutely.
You know, anything hip hop or too jazzy or too cool, you know, it gets way out in front of the normal people. And so they block it out. But there's a big market there. Um, if it's business and creating revenue, then people will flock to that area. And that's the future here. I mean, you know, the US isn't going to disappear, but it's going to get more diverse. And areas that have not grown economically are now going to grow because they're starting, it's old, but they're starting from scratch again. And new development, new money coming into these Midwest and Southern areas because that's where because people don't want to go to LA. They don't want to go even to San Diego. They don't ever want to go to New York so, to relocate. But the people who are there don't care. You know, we've got our own thing. You know, we're not going anywhere. We're just going to keep growing. And so now these other places are going to develop. And so people from outside the US don't know that.
Mhm.
Well, some people would, but most don't. And so the idea of communicating with people, you know, communicating with American business people is really important, as you know. And so the southern areas like Nashville, Atlanta, these are south and central. People are just like you and me, but they come from different areas, and the culture around them is different, and that has a lot to do with trust building, well, rapport building. And once you get to that level, then trust can evolve. And it all is about what you're doing. Carolina, what you're doing is key to the future of global business. And I congratulate you on that. And that's the award.
Thank you, Edwin. An honor to be here. And thanks for such interesting information. Absolutely. Diversity and learning how to connect with each other is going to be the
The
future.
rapport comes from connecting. You know, before connecting is investigating and say, what is this about? Why is it different?
Mhm.
Psychologically safe place to exchange ideas without feeling bad or afraid. So simple, so important to get to the next level of rapport. That comes from the dialogue and interchange on more than one occasion. And if we're lucky, trust can evolve. Because something will go wrong, something is going to be misunderstood or misinterpreted, and that may be a subtle block of further relationship development. Because then there's an issue, what is going on here? Trust, am I misreading something? Should I pull back and not get further involved? It's normal. So not understanding that is really, that just comes from exposure and just
Mhm.
talking about things. So thank you. I love having you on the program.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next meeting.
See you in the global meeting room.
See you. Bye bye, Ed.
Ciao.
Bye.